So, hello everyone. Everyone is on the internet, and children are not left out of these realities. And the question remains, how are we preparing our children for the dangers they are going to face online? Hi, everyone, and you're welcome to You Are Not Alone. I'm the host of this program, and I'm really happy to be here today. And then, talking further, You Are Not Alone is an education sensitization and advocacy program of Action Against Child Sexual Abuse Initiative, and we're just discussing issues around violence against women and children. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the strategies and challenges of keeping children safe online. And to discuss this with me, I have such a phenomenal guest. He's already here. You can see he's a phenomenal guest. I remember when we wanted to do it, we had just started talking about it, and here we are. And he's the founder and president of the ChildSafeNet in Nepal. He's had over 3 decades of experience working in child protection. He's worked with organizations like the UN. He's worked with International Labour Organization. He's worked with UNICEF. He's worked with ECPAT International. He's worked with Save the Children. He's worked with Pan International. I mean, I can go on and on. So we're talking about someone with a wealth of experience. And then to go further, I'm just checking out to see if we're having our guest coming in. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's great. Yeah. So we'll want to start by, talking about why we're talking about the strategies and challenges of keeping children safe online. I introduced this topic, and we're trying to find, how important it is for us to know that children, we need to start building the culture of safety for children online, knowing everybody is virtually living online right now. So without taking much time, I want to introduce to you our guest for today, Anil Raghuvanshi. Anil, hello.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting. I'm very excited to talk and also listen, learn from the participants. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So, Anil, I'm really happy you're here. I remember when we started having this discussion and talking about coming, having this talk, and we're here right now. I'm really excited, and thank you so much for making our time to be here with us. So, without taking much time, Anil, I don't know if you would like to go ahead by telling us, about the work you do, or you would like to make some introduction. I mean, we're trying to talk and learn from you and the amazing work you're doing in Nepal. So I want to hear, like, if you have, something you want to tell us about the work you are doing in Nepal.
Thank you so much. I believe there are a good number of people watching this program from Nigeria, and I must say that I'm privileged to talk today because I had an opportunity to work in Nigeria from 2015 to 2017 with UNICEF in Abuja. So I was working as a child protection manager that time. So I'm glad that I'm again connecting with people from Nigeria. And also, as Juliet mentioned, that child protection is something we are working on from long time, but the dimension of child protection has been changing, mainly due to the advanced technology and access to the internet, and it opened all the opportunities, all the possibilities. So the time children and young people are in this time is quite phenomenal, and they are very privileged to have all these access. But at the same time, things are all not that rosy. There are also problems coming with the opportunity. So we are looking at how to make the internet safer and also avoid those online harms, especially for children and young people. That's why we're working on this, and we established this organization. Actually, after coming back from Nigeria to Nepal, I started this in 2017 November, And earlier also, when I was working in ECPAT in 2005, actually we had started a similar program called Make IT Safe. So that time internet was not that big, so the problem was just emerging. So the program did not expand much. Now online internet opportunities, online classes, Zoom meetings, and online abuses are everywhere. So we, whether we like it or we don't like it, is we are living in the digital age. So that's why we also need to look at the solutions and also the world fit for children and young people in this digital age. That's why we're working on this and addressing the online issues. We will also look at the offline issues which are interconnected with the online issues like child marriage, domestic violence, trafficking. Other things also are now interconnected. So we cannot separate online sector uh, and also look at only the offline. So we have to do both. That's why we're working on this. And without taking much time, if Juliet, if you permit, I would like to make a small presentation on
Please go
what we.
ahead. Thank you. Please go ahead.
So let's see if I can share the screen.
Sorry.
Sorry. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can. I can see the screen. Yes.
Okay. Here today we are saying with this program that you are not alone, that we all are
In
working
this
together.
together.
We need help from each other. And we're talking about the strategies and challenges of keeping children safe online. And first, I would like to introduce to you ChildSafeNet. We established officially in 2018, although informally we started in 2017. So far, we have been working as the global network members of different organizations like displayed here, or like ECPAT International, We Protect Global Alliance, Sexual Violence Research Initiative. We work as the, we contribute as the Global Advisory Group member. And also for the Internet Wars Foundation, we are contributing as the country reporting portal partner. And for this
Okay.
Safer Internet Day, we're working as the National Secretariat, and Stop Think Connect Messaging Convention. We're working as the National Curator, and also we're working as the global CSO member for violence against children and global CSO member for NetSafe. And also I have not included others. We are also member of many platforms, many networks in Nepal and in the region. And our work is mostly related to research to have evidence-based um, uh, documentation for advocacy, for programming, for to raise awareness. So we conducted a number of research studies like the impact of COVID-19 on child online protection, live streaming of sexual abuse and exploitation, online behavior and risk, desktop literature reviews on child online protection. And currently, we are conducting a very big nationwide research on online intimate partner violence.
Oh,
White paper on child online protection by uh, studying the reports, publications related to this in Nepal and at the international level. And also, we developed toolkits for police, lawyers, psychosocial service providers, parents, and also a cyber safety booklet.
wow.
Uh, and also, we are doing awareness raising online and offline through social media, mainstream media, through events in the schools, colleges, and actually we have a very good social media followers on uh, mostly on Facebook and on Instagram as well. And also we are using video Currently, we are publishing a series of 12 videos produced in collaboration with Pan International, and we are making other radio programs like we when we uh, aired radio programs. At least 100 radio stations in the country they broadcast at the same time the radio programs, and we do uh, live streaming on social media, and also we conduct cyber safety training of trainers and train students and teachers and parents on online safety. And we work with the government, with the police, private sector, schools, colleges for advocacy on online safety to make them more responsible, and also spend time, money, and also to take care of children to protect them online. And our position is like children have rights. They have right to be protected offline and online. It's not only offline, but also they have right to be protected online and to use the internet safely. Internet is very good. It's can be used positively, and it's very helpful. But they have right to use the internet safely, and they have right to information, education, privacy, and recreation offline as well as online, and also to express your views on the matters, uh, including by the use of technology, and also take part in the matters of the concerns for their decisions related to their well-being and their protection. And children have rights. Children are not mini human beings with mini human rights. They have full rights as other human beings, but they have more. Uh, they need to be protected because children, by nature, uh, may not have equal ability to protect themselves as the grown-ups. And children have the right to be protected online, and this is not a virtual right. The online crime, online safety, online right is the real thing. It's not the virtual thing. So the right to be protected online is a real right. It's not a virtual right. And I would like to talk about some issues related to online risks for children. Like now, globally, about 4.66 billion people use the internet, according to ITU, and 1 in 3 internet users in the world is a child. Internet Watch Foundation saw 77% rise in child self-generated sexual material from 2019 to 2020. It increased, like they generated the materials which are sexually abusive materials. So children, they themselves are also involved in doing this because of grooming, enticing, luring by other people. So it's also increasing. Now I would like to show you a chart with information received from the US-based organization called National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which receives on average 60,000 reports of child sexual abuse online every day. According to this report, there is a very big increase in the number of uh, online child sexual abuse imagery from 2019 to 2020, mainly related to after the COVID pandemic. So this chart shows most of the reports are related to uh, the term used here is used in the US. So actually, we don't use this word child pornography. We use child sexual abuse materials, possession, manufacture, and distribution. This is the biggest number. So it increased from 2016 to 21 million reports in 2020. So this chart shows a very clear picture about the increase in almost all areas of child sexual abuse. And now, when we look at this, the percentage is 106% from 2019 to 2020. uh, for the global average. But when we look at the figure for Nepal, and also I have put the figure for Nigeria, like in 2019, there were 63,000 cyber tip line, the suspected child sexual exploitation reports from Nepal. It increased to almost threefold to 178,000 in 2020. And in Nigeria, it was 39,000 cyber tip line in 2019, and it increased to 46,610 in 2020. And now, one thing, although this number looks small in Nigeria, but it's also a big number, and the proportion of child sexual abuse materials in Nepal. I would like to show the scale and the ratio. Like the population of Nepal is 29 million, and the reports are 178,000. And Nigeria population, so I found the projection today like it's 213 million, or maybe it's 210 million, the population of Nigeria, but the reports are 46,000. Maybe the reports were not made much, or there were less number of incidents, but uh, compared to the population and all these things, Nepal has more reports on online child sexual abuse materials. And we need to look at the phenomena of online and offline. Like anything harmful offline is harmful online. Anything illegal offline is also illegal online. So we cannot say that this can be done online and this is okay. But if people find that harmful, is if that's illegal offline, that's also same online. And when we look at the online sexual abuse and exploitation, we see like the issue of child grooming, issue of the live streaming of sexual exploitation, the issue of sextortion, the sexual extortion, the issue of the revenge by sending sexually abusive pictures, the sexually abused people also use the word like online revenge porn, but that is something problematic. So we don't use the word revenge porn. That's image-based online revenge or online abuse. So and also the issue of sexting is also there. So when the people actually it happens among the peers, children or young people, they share sexual photos, videos, or jokes. Those things they share as sexting. But people may also misuse that, and they may also force or entice children to do that. And child sexual exploitation and abuse materials we already discussed, and it also now includes a big number of materials generated or produced by children themselves. And the other online risks, we are looking at the online risks like cyberbullying. When people didn't have access to internet, it was only offline bullying. Now people are doing online as well, and the impact is quite bigger than the offline bullying, because it can be spread quickly and also reach many people and remain for a long time or even forever. So the impact is also quite big. And the phishing is like um, getting other people's banking or financial information, private information, to get access to their bank accounts and also to steal their money. The phishing is there, and also other risks is gaming. So people, especially children and young people, they spend long hours playing online games with other people. Multiplayer online games are quite popular, and I don't know in Nigeria, in Nepal, the games like PUBG, Free Fire are quite popular among children and young people, and these games are quite addictive as well. And the screen addiction, people they spend long time using internet. Like when we conducted the study after the first COVID lockdown, we found that 1 in 4 children and young people they spend more than 10 hours using internet every day. So it included children and young people using the internet for 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours a day. So the screen addiction is also quite a big problem. And loss of privacy. People who use the internet, they sometime, or most time, most of the people, they don't know about uh, maintaining privacy, and also uh, understand what can be shared with who. So private information, private photographs and videos are shared with public, with the strangers, and their information could be stolen, or their privacy is lost. And also the human traffickers, they used to go to villages and even small towns to contact children and young people for trafficking. Now they are doing using online platforms like Facebook Messenger or Viber, WhatsApp. So these tools are also used to contact people for trafficking. And here, like things, the data privacy is quite a problem with um, many apps, and some apps they don't have the provision. Like TikTok, it can make the content either private or to only to the person or to public. So it's not like with the friends only, or public or family. That type of privacy setting is not there. And age verification is not followed strictly by IT companies. Like now, Twitter and many even Facebook, Instagram, they have the provision of verification of IDs, but they are not using it strictly for all the accounts. So that's why people are able to make fake IDs, and they can make problem to others. So no real IDs of social media users. And deep fakes, people can spread misinformation and disinformation easily, and many people don't know, and they may also spread unknowingly without any intention to spread, but they are doing that. And children, when they are found to be doing these things, like exchanging their sexual photographs and having relationship with other people, they are blamed for their own abuse and exploitation. So these things are also uh, becoming a big challenge for children to go and report. And also, like children, when they are uh, in need of protection, but they are also children and young people who could also be the offenders by writing bad things, doing bad things, hacking other people's accounts and using fake accounts. So children could also be offenders, and they may not know that it's a crime, or committing a offense, but they are also found to be doing these things. And the gravity of online child abuse and exploitation is something people take very lightly, and think that this is not as serious as offline abuse and exploitation. The online version of abuse and exploitation could be as harmful as offline abuse and exploitation, and sometimes could be more harmful. Images, videos could be shared, tampered, or misused. Harmful posts can reach many people in anywhere in a short time. Once in the internet, almost impossible to fully remove. So there is a possibility of long-lasting impact of online abuse and exploitation. And online abuse is real. Offline impacts are also there. Like cyberbullying has impacts, as I mentioned earlier, similar or more severe impact than the offline bullying. And cyber grooming and offline sexual abuse and exploitation would also be connected. Offline abuse could be filmed and shared online, including for sextortion, intimate partner violence, and sharing of non-consensual abusive images, like the word many people use, revenge porn, which is actually not, we were not using that word. So that type of image-based, non-consensual abusive images sharing is also there. And also blackmailing, sextortion is there. Internet use for human trafficking and for early or child or forced marriage is also there. In this digital age, like we are uh, digital citizens, the adults are uh, the immigrants of the digital world, digital countries or the world. But the children who are born in the digital age, they are the citizens, they are the native citizens. So they are born with the internet around and also access to the internet, computer, mobile devices. So this is the digital age, and we are the digital citizens. In any country or any time, any age, so we have rights and responsibilities. And if we don't understand this, it's quite a problem. So when we are in certain country, we need to know the law and we need to follow. And not knowing the law will not protect us or will not provide us immunity. So for this type of digital world, digital age, we don't have much awareness or education on this. So, like for using any device, like to ride a motorcycle or car or on its, we have training and there is a user guide. But for internet, most of the time people don't have that type of knowledge, and we don't have the user guide most of the time. So that's the problem. And like people use the traffic, they use uh, the sidewalk, they cross the road, and people when they drive cars, they need to follow the traffic rules. But for internet, we don't follow, and that's why other people may harm us, or we may do something bad to others. So there should be something like we use the traffic light, traffic discipline to use the road. We also need to have this type of education and the discipline to use the internet. And for the offline world, we know that children need to be taught about the safe thoughts or good thoughts and the bad thoughts or the unsafe thoughts. But in the online world, we let children to use the internet without teaching them about what is good thoughts, what is bad thoughts online. So this is also one area where we need to uh, work with the authorities, with the duty bearers to make education on good thoughts and bad thoughts online. And to do all these things, we have actually some gaps uh, in Nepal that I would like to explain to you. Maybe this is true in other countries, some countries in the region, in South Asia, and also in Africa as well. The gaps are like the knowledge, the research and studies are very few, and we don't have much knowledge on what is the impact, what is the issue, the risk, vulnerability, and there is a very little awareness or lack of understanding of manifestations and the gravity of online abuse and exploitation of children and young people. Law enforcement is inadequate. Legal measures are weak, mostly in the third world countries, and that is not encouraging people to report cases and get justice. And policies and directives are either not comprehensive or implemented effectively. So these need to be changed and amended. And response mechanisms for the victims, for the survivors, and the people who need help is also very much inadequate, and the support system is very weak. And the priorities are like we need multi-sector, multi-stakeholder initiative like the government, UN agencies, international and national NGOs, tech companies, schools, parents, child clubs, media, etc. We need to work together and also to uh, find a solution to get some collaborative efforts. And also the governments particularly should increase budgetary allocation for online safety as well. The government raised a lot of revenue from internet, telephone, and tech companies, but budgetary allocation is very low. Actually, I can talk about Nepal, but I believe in many countries still there is not adequate budgetary allocation for online safety. And also the internet companies, when they not only the national companies, the big international companies, they also need to spend more because they are making money. They are business companies, so they also need, they have responsibilities to make the internet safer and need to spend more, and that is not happening in many countries. And the development agencies, schools, communities, police, they also increase budgetary allocation. And governments needs to make efficient policies and effective law enforcement, and to raise awareness on child online protection and include this in the school curricula. Now, I would like to talk about some mechanism we would like to suggest to make a better protection for children online with a layer protection. So I would like to show one slide. This is the second last slide. It's on the layers of protection for children. Like the child is or the young person should be made aware on the bad thoughts or good thoughts online, also to protect himself or herself online. So that's the first thing for protection. And this family comes after that. The family is the first layer of protection. So family has responsibility to provide guidance to children, not control, but provide guidance and help children to use the internet safely. And if there is any problem, the parents and the family members should be there to protect and also should help. But they, in many instances, they themselves are not aware of online safety. So they should also be uh, knowing about online safety. So we need to work with families as well. And the communities, the schools, uh, community-based organizations, child and youth clubs, they have a very big role in raising awareness and providing support. And civil society organizations, internet service providers, media, private sector, they have also responsibilities to protect children online by making appropriate arrangement for filtering content, raising awareness, and making people uh, more knowledgeable about online safety, and also to invest on protecting children online. And the police and judiciary to make a child-friendly investigation system, and also to make reporting system easy for children, and also to maintain privacy, and also to have more support system for children and young people. Then the government and lawmakers, by making policies, laws, allocating budget, can also help a lot, and they have big responsibility as well. And then the UN, Interpol, regional bodies like African Union, SARC, ASEAN, European Union, they are also very much having big responsibility to protect children online by developing international standards, developing international tools, developing the mechanism for prosecuting the offenders, particularly because the type of online crime is extraterritorial. So people could be from one country offending other people or the children in other countries. So that's why we need Interpol, UN, and regional bodies to work on this. And this is the end of the presentation. I will be happy to uh, hear from you, and also I can answer your questions. I'll be happy to do that. And you, if you have time, you can capture this contact information. So we'll be happy to provide you other resources and respond to your queries later as well, not only during this session. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much. This was amazing. I mean, one of the things I took from your presentation was when we talked about the reporting in Nepal and reporting in Nigeria. And it's obvious that you're doing so much work on this in Nepal, and that's why you have more people reporting online sexual abuse or abuse of children in general. So I think there's so much awareness and people are responding to the work that is being done in Nepal.
Yes, yes, that's true. And also, like the reporting is not only by people from Nepal, it's also reporting anybody from any country can report. And when they see the pictures and images related to children from Nepal, and if they can identify, they say, okay, they will classify it as a report from Nepal. And also,
Oh,
uh, they look at the domain hosted from Nepal and all those things. Either the children they are from Nepal or the site hosted from Nepal. So they look at many different aspects.
wow, that was so wonderful. So we're just going to look at our guests that are responding. Hello, everyone. We're so happy to have you. Ifeanyi, Doris, thank you so much. Doris is actually a stakeholder. Hello, Amarachi. Thank you so much for being here. And Doris is saying that an insightful presentation, and I think I have to take this out. Just saying that this is an insightful presentation, and I must say it is I must say so for I must say so for a child is often seen as the leaders of tomorrow. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you so much for sharing this. So one of the things we wanted to talk about, let's kind of, bring in our guest here, our audience. I was trying to talk about one of the things during the presentation. You talked about myths. People have this belief. So I wanted to hear from the audience. I wanted to hear from them. What are the general myths people have about online child sexual abuse or online abuse of children? What are the myths people have? I would love to, have you, if you can think of anyone, please just type it in while we're having our discussions and we'll deliberate on it. So back to you, Mr. Anil. Thank you so much. It was really an insightful presentation. And I wanted to talk further when you talked about on privacy. When we talked about privacy, we talked about generally losing privacy by putting out your stuff out there. But what about the online privacy, the privacy that has to do with okay, you talked about it, the privacy that has to do with the systems that are put in place online to protect children. So I wanted to hear more about that. I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
Yeah, I saw the question from Doris Imemonu about how well can one monitor these online abuse without breach of the right to privacy? This is a very important question and a very valid question. Like in most cases, the parents are advised, or even the teachers, they are advised to uh, supervise children, monitor their devices, monitor their activities online, and also they are also advised to use parental control apps or the softwares. So those things will provide all the information, like what the child is doing, which site the child is visiting, who the child is connecting to, what type of information. Those type of monitoring or control is something people do for the sake of protection, and they think it's good. But at the same time, we need to remember, we need to understand that children do have right to privacy. they may not want to share what they are uh, talking to their friends, or doing what the things that they are doing with other people. So that type of sensitivity is there. But instead of breaching the right to privacy, the parents and the teachers, they can guide children by teaching them what is safe, what is unsafe, and how to use the internet safely, and to understand when it's an alarm. Like if people are contacting children and sending messages at midnight, and also maybe they are saying, okay, you're too good, too beautiful, so I want to give you something, even without asking. They might give some gifts or money, or they might say, okay, don't tell anyone. It's between you and me. So those things could be something like the alarm, like somebody is trying to groom, trying to abuse children. So those things, if children understand, it's not necessary to go and look at their devices, but talk to children, talk about these issues, and if there are anything they need to help on, that can be done. And other big issue about data privacy and protection is also coming uh, in the big tech companies like Facebook, Instagram, like the messages between two persons through messengers services. Those messages are, if these messages are encrypted, people cannot see those messages. That is good for privacy. But if those messages are used for abuse, for crime, that cannot also be seen. So that's a big dilemma going on about whether such messages uh, needs to be encrypted or no, or should there be access to law enforcement agencies or some specialized agencies or no. So that's quite a big issue. So we are still looking at the uh, internationally agreeable standard on data privacy versus protection. So this is a quite a big issue, but we cannot curtail one right in the name of other right. Like the right to protection is there, but right to privacy is there, also there. Right to expression, freedom of expression is also there. Right to information is also there. So we need to look at all these things. And there's one thing we have in the child right, that's called best interest of the child. What is best for the child? So we need to look at if there is a balance, or how those issues are helping or harming the child. So that can be considered using different aspects, and also listening to children, what they want, what they think about those. So that can be addressed by using these multiple factors, and also to see how the privacy can be maintained, and also the protection can be done. So I think that can be done. I can see a message also from Doris. Uh, One of the myths is people believe it's not possible and usually blame the child. Yeah, that's blaming the child. And is it possible to have some form of certification clearance issued to companies who sometimes post things for children to help serve as a safety measures? So, do you want me to go one by one to these questions, or do you have follow-up questions on previously?
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to talk about she was sharing a myth, and the myth was she was saying a lot of parents think it's impossible. I think a lot of parents actually think it's impossible. It's more like no harm, it's not physical, so nothing can really happen to the child. A lot of parents actually think that it's okay for children to be with devices and on the internet, and they have no fear for nothing because they feel like the children are in the house. But like you said in your presentation, it's even more harmful than people that have physical abuse. Because, for instance, you gave an example of having your privacy, or maybe sexting, or some of those your pictures, it can just go viral. Like at the click of a hand, you're talking about millions of people have your video, and you can't compare that with just meeting one person and then having a case where people that are not even in your living in your state probably didn't won't know what happened. So that's how dangerous it is. So we agree with you, Doris. I mean, it's very a lot of parents think it can't happen. And then finally, Doris is saying that is it possible to have some form of certification clearance issued to companies who sometimes post things for children to help serve as safety measures. So, sorry, back to you, Mr. Anil. Is it possible to have
Yes.
certifications? Yeah.
It's possible, but it's very difficult as well because we have many organizations, many companies. They post things to help children, and those organizations or those companies might not be the ones who are having the mandate or the um, uh, ability to do so. So people might use different positions or different procedures or different standards for this. So the certification clearance we can do that actually by having them come under one umbrella or some umbrellas could be regional umbrellas or some different for one certification for to look at the cyberbullying, another one for cyber grooming. Those could also be there, but there should be some common ground. If people say the messaging from the Western world, which came with the apps like Net Nanny, that is mostly they use the word parental control. So we are now looking at are we talking about control or parental guidance? Parental monitoring or parental guidance or parent supervision. So those things should be clear, and also the standards on guiding children. Mostly it came from the offline world, the words, the terminologies like stranger danger. The strangers are dangerous, so don't talk to strangers. That is something people advise children offline. Now, same is applied online as well. But now, according to the studies conducted in different places, it's also clear that the big number of abusers are the people, children they already know. Could be the neighbors or friends of their brothers or sisters, their uncles, people they already know could be doing that. And also in some countries, I know that teachers are also involved, and also uh, uh, people within the family. So it's quite complicated. It's not only the people who are strangers, but also people when they have the behavior which is harming or which could potentially harm children, the alarming signs or the good thoughts, bad thoughts, those things, if these are taught, that would be better. So for the certification as well, we need to have more standardized materials, positions, or the messages. So that's why that can help us. And one messaging convention called Stop, Think, Connect. Actually, in Nigeria, also you have chapter of Stop, Think, Connect. ChildSafeNet is also a national curator. So that type of messaging convention can use the standardized messages and can use by these organizations. So we don't use different messages or different things. So that can be used, and also the organizations, the certification, like it's a big question here, like who is authorized to certify and who will certify on what basis. So
Exactly.
those are also there. So
Exactly.
be a regulating body, coordinating body, and also some with a technical expertise, and that is not happening. And organizations with good intention or not well equipped, all are doing these things. So this is a very important issue, and we need to raise this in future as well with other uh, organizations and in different forums. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Anil. This was really interesting. And thank you, Doris. Doris, thank you so much. Doris works with the Human Rights Commission in Nigeria. So this is her field. They are protecting human rights. I think that's why she has been very, So thank you so much, Doris. Thank you, everyone that showed up. And thank you so much, Amara. Thank you, Doris. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Ifayi. We're really happy to have you all here. And then with this, we've come to the end of this program. And I don't know, Anil, if you have anything to add before we close, please go ahead.
Yeah, what I would like to say is thank you very much for joining us, and I really enjoyed talking to you. And thank you very much for very important questions. And today, because of the time limit, we could not talk about other issues. But I believe there will be other opportunities in future. So Juliet
Definitely.
is working very actively and very kind to invite me in this discussion. So we will continue this discussion later in coming days as well. And for the information on protecting children online, I would like to invite you to visit our website www.childsafenet.org and also follow us on social media sites like the Child SafeNet, uh, Facebook page, Instagram page, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And also, we have actually been working as a national organization, and many of our contents are in Nepali, some are in English, but slowly we are also planning to work internationally and with help and with the collaboration with organizations um, like Juliet. So we will be doing that, and we need to work together. And like you are not alone, we are not alone. We work together for
Very
the
true.
protection of children, online and
Thank you
offline.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anil. So we had such a swell time with you. Like you said, this would be for it a wrap for You Are Not Alone on this episode, Strategies and Challenges of Keeping Children Safe Online. So do have a lovely day. Thank you so much and bye.